toxic partisanship, left versus right, us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Hello and welcome to A Free Solution on WYSL and WACK in Newark. My name is Craig Miles. I am in for Tim O'Connor on this kind of dreary Thursday, but that's okay because weather is just weather, and dreary is a feeling, and feelings are important. I don't care what those conservatives say. Feelings are important. We do want to feel good. And a lot of the times, the government will tell us, you know what? We got the answer to make you feel good. We represent you. We are your representatives, and we know what is best for you, and we're going to make you happy, and we're going to make you feel good. And if you don't feel good, well, it must be something wrong with you because we did everything right to make you feel good. It wasn't our fault. I'm going on and on about the topic of today. Does government represent us, rulers or servants in New York? I bet you can probably guess where this one's going. And okay, as with everything, there's some nuance to stuff, right? Our governments do represent us sometimes. Oftentimes, that is at the local level because you can go, and if your town councilman or your mayor or whoever is not doing what you want them to do, you can usually get them in a room somewhere. You might even be able to go and knock on their door, or you see them in a coffee shop. You say, "Hey, Jim, I'm really not a fan of, that stuff that we talked about at the town board the other night. I don't think it's a good situation here in the town." And Jim says, "Well, I respect your opinion. Thanks. Let's talk it out." Or Jim tries to run away and hide. You can only hide in so many places in a small town. You can't hide. So you have accountability. And accountability is what gives us accurate representation. And the further and further you remove your representatives from the local sphere, getting into the county level, getting into the state level, getting into the national level, the less accountability you have. You can call them and leave a message on their phone, and they can ignore it. You can call them and their secretary, they'll answer and they say, "I'm sorry, Jim's not in his office right now, but I can leave a message." They send you to his voicemail. You don't get a hold of him. You can do this over and over and over again. And if they don't want to talk to you, they don't have to. Okay, so now your only option is to stalk their house, which is that's not a great option. Or hope that you can catch them on the street. The county executive in my county has an armored vehicle. He hops in there and he rides around in that. What are you talking about? Why do you need that as a representative of the people in Oneida County? In Oneida County, what is this? Are you the president? Why do you feel like you need to be protected in an armored vehicle? That's strange, right? That's weird. What have you done to feel like you need no one should want to shoot their county executive? What is going on? Why is that a thing? There's two things there. Either you're paranoid or there's a real concern, in which case, are you really representing your area if you're concerned for your life when you step out in it? I mean, it is crazy out there. It's a crazy world. And there are people doing crazy things. But I would suspect that the reason that an official would want a armored vehicle is that they feel like there's a reason why someone might want to compromise them. So we always go in the wrong direction is my point. And instead of saying, you saw with January 6th, instead of saying, wow, these people are really upset. Why? Maybe we're not doing something right. They said, this is the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of ever. Uncle Joe said this is the worst thing that's happened since the Civil War. How many millions of people died in that? on both sides, American citizens. But January 6th is the worst thing that's happened since that. Chuck Schumer says the worst thing that's happened since 9/11. Never mind the crisis of the day. That was horrible. But then we got in 2 conflicts overseas, Afghanistan and Iraq. And if we didn't lose lives over there, which we did, but on top of that, we have a lot of broken people here in our country now as a result of those 2 wars. And January 6th is the worst thing that's happened since that. Get out of here, Chuck Schumer. You have no clue what you are talking about. Absolutely no clue. Or maybe you do. I'm just throwing it out there because you think people are stupid. It's insulting, honestly. And you're my representative? You represent me? You don't represent me, Chuck. And that conversation I just had with myself, I can't have that conversation with Chuck Schumer. I shook his hand once in Rochester. I was there for a parade, St. Patty's Day parade. He was walking by, shake everyone's hand, and he came out like a groundhog, shook everybody's hand, and that's great. Thanks, Chuck. And then if I actually want anything done besides shaking your hand on a sidewalk in Rochester, good luck. I can't give you my opinion about your statement about January 6th being the worst thing since 9/11 because I can't get a hold of you. So how can you represent people when you actively try to avoid them? The answer is you can't. Okay, so do you care? Are you trying to represent them? Do you think you know better? Are you just trying to get people out of the way because they don't know what's best for them? I mean, any of those could be an answer, and they're all bad answers, in my opinion. You saw it with COVID. Well, I couldn't tell you that it was actually going to be 85%, so I told you it was 65%, so that by the time we got to 75%, I could tell you it was 95%. I'm not joking. He said that. Anthony Fauci said that about vaccines, about the percentage of people we needed to get to herd immunity. And CNN didn't hold him to it. They said, okay, sounds great. I'm like, I have some questions, like lots of questions, Dr. Fauci. We don't hold him accountable. And it does ultimately fall back on us because we do have a system, no matter how flawed it is, that does allow us to take control if you stop taking your cues from the people that are profiting, benefiting, using the system. Stop listening to those people and start criticizing them. Start thinking critically about what they're saying. Because I didn't tell you that we had to get to 85 until we got to 75, when really it was 95, is a horrible, horrible, horrible answer from a public official that makes more money than any other public official in the country. And he's playing with people's lives here. That's not acceptable. Say what you want about what you think should have been done. That's not an acceptable answer. Why didn't we question it? Why don't we care more about it? Well, he's just doing his best. Yeah, okay, his best sucks. Can we find someone else to do better? Or can we do better ourselves? I feel like we don't ask that question enough. I'm ranting about national stuff right now, but it's on the state level too. Just recently, with the subway attacks, Eric Adams is going to come out and he's going to fix subway violence now, because he didn't do that 8 months ago when there was still subway violence. Now's the time to fix it. Same thing with Kathy. She says, now's the time we say no. Okay, why didn't you just say that before? Why is now the time to end it? I mean, you have people hurting now. All these cool things that you're going to do, shouldn't you have been doing those already? Did anyone give you ideas? And if they did, why didn't you implement them? Are you listening? Or are you just doing what you want to do? And then as things happen, you kind of have to figure out how to massage the narrative so that you can say, yeah, I did that. I fixed it. See, I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. Same thing with the CDC mask mandates. The judge in Florida says, hey, these aren't a thing anymore. They're actually kind of unconstitutional. Kathy says, not here in New York. Nope, they're totally constitutional. I say you need a mask. So in the airport, in JFK, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Is that in New Jersey or New York? All you downstaters are going to be angry at me. I'll say Syracuse International Airport. I go there and I have to wear a mask in the airport because it's in New York State. But once I get on the plane, now it's national, and now COVID knows that it's national. So now it's not a risk. So I don't have to wear my mask once I'm in the air. And when I land in San Diego, now I'm fine. But in New York, COVID's going to get me. So I got to wear the mask in the airport. This is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the inconsistencies. We need to let people make decisions, because when you leave it to bureaucracies, they contradict each other and they never admit they're wrong. So we need to put power back in the hands of the people. And we're going to talk about that when I get back. It's a free solution. Give me a call, 585-346-3000. Tell me what you think back after the break on that free solution.
Your business relies on computers and technology.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You know, here in the airport terminal, you can socially distance from people. Meanwhile, you're on a plane, you're able to be without a mask, and you're like less than 6 feet from people.
Computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Innovations.
Oh, those injury attorney ads.
Hurt on your couch? Call 555-OUCH.
It's kind of cute watching that injury attorney buying breakfast for a crash test dummy, but while fun is fun, there's nothing amusing about getting your life back together after a personal injury or a motorcycle accident, or when you need defense for a DWI charge. Christopher Johnson takes your case seriously, and you'll feel like you're his only client, because when you
Just remember, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
So instead of cute singing jingles and magic phone numbers,
Fall out of a tree? Call 33333.
write this number down and keep it with you. 585-415-3803. 415-3803. After all, Christopher Johnson knows you're no dummy. Get individual attention and integrity, experience, and expertise. Put the power of one on your legal team. 415-3803. Stay safe, be healthy, drive sober. Christopher Johnson Attorney, personal injury, car or motorcycle accidents, DWI defense.
As a veteran of the United States military, I can finally get the opportunity to enjoy special events, things that we couldn't afford, thanks to VetTix. Every empty seat at a concert, a game, or a play is a missed opportunity to say thanks to a veteran and service member. We can give our veterans a special event where they too can create their own cherished memories. Visit vettix.org. Find out how you can make a difference in a veteran's life.
Only available in the WISL store at WISL1040.com. Official top quality tees, hoodies, and coffee mugs depicting the colorful WISL logo or the already famous.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to play a quick Cuomo clip. It's funny, it has to do with masks.
It's front and center up on that mountain. WISL official items make perfect gifts, or they're a great way for you to make a personal statement. Locally produced and sold only in the WISL store at WISL1040.com.
A free solution.
You don't wear a mask for yourself. You wear a mask to protect me. I wear a mask to protect you. You could literally kill someone because you didn't want to wear a mask.
You could literally kill someone because you didn't want to wear a mask. Not only are our words violence, but breathing is violence these days. That's from the early days of the pandemic. I don't blame anyone for being concerned about that. The issue is we've never walked it back. We've got reams and reams and reams of studies that show that the efficacy of masks and lockdowns was not worth the effects that it had on society as a whole. It's in black and white. It's indisputable now that masks and lockdowns were an ineffective way to approach this COVID situation in the sense that any sort of benefit that we got from them, which has been shown to be very minimum, if any, was not worth all the destruction that it caused. And government will not admit that, and they will do it again. They will do it again in 3 years. We will be here again, unless you start electing people that aren't like our illustrious governor and abuse you, and you just ask for more. You need to start looking for people who actually care about solutions, real solutions, free solutions, as it were, here on WYSL and WACK. I have a comment here from Kim. I was mentioning stuff going on down in New York City. She says, just listen to Adams, Hochul, and old Clinton sputter their ESD baloney about the mess they are creating in Manhattan. When those 8 parcels of skyscrapers get slapped up without basic services to New Yorkers, it will be horrible. I'm not entirely certain about the particulars of what Kim is talking about, but that's how we do it in New York State. ESD and Empire State Development. The state knows how to develop. The state knows how to keep you safe. The state knows what everybody needs in New York, so they go and they build it. The state knew that we needed a hospital downtown in Utica here, so they went and they built it downtown, and they forced 43 businesses out of Utica. And just this week, Oneida County sent sheriffs to escort a business owner out of his building because he had the audacity to believe that he owned his business. He had the audacity to believe that that building that he paid for, that he bought, that he restored when it was falling in a pile and nobody wanted it, that he's paid taxes on for the past 30 years. He had the audacity to believe that that belonged to him. It doesn't belong to him. Nothing belongs to anybody as long as the state wants it. They have set up a system where they will come and take it, and they will escort you out. And if you resist, they will put you in a cage. I'm through with people telling me that this is just extremes or it's a necessary. No, this is a thing. So you need to be very careful when you start talking about these things willy-nilly. I sound like such a boomer right now, but these things have consequences. When you start talking about Empire State Development or any of these projects, we have forgotten the human cost. Again, because I hear it on the radio. I think it's a great idea. I say I support this. And we don't think about what comes with that. I support this hospital downtown. Okay, well, did you know, first of all, that the hospital owns property that they could build a hospital on without taking any of these properties? No, I didn't know that. But I did hear that all those properties down there are just like evil speculators. They're sitting on it, you know, until property values go up so they can sell them for a profit. No, that's not true either. There's 43 businesses down there that are working and employing people and creating economic activity and paying taxes. I didn't know that either. Well, they look like crap. Okay, is that a reason to bulldoze them? Let me come to your house. If I have an opinion about your house and how it looks, I say, well, that doesn't look right. How about I just flatten it? Well, you can't do that. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So, Kim, I'm sure that's going to be a mess down there. I'm sure it's got all the worst hallmarks of any Empire State Development project. And I'm sure we're going to go through with it. And then, like you said, it's not going to be good for you New Yorkers. And it'll be the New Yorkers' fault. It'll be because they're not getting with the program. They just don't understand. They're just naysayers. I'm sounding cynical and angry. And it's not misplaced because these things happen every single day. And they may be coming to a theater near you. And that's what they count on, I guess, is people don't have time to pay attention to stuff going on. If I'm down in Manhattan, I don't know that Utica is a city. I don't know about this destruction going on. But it's a precedent. Every time it happens, the state can say, see, this is okay. And they get you used to it. Back to the topic of representation, which I guess we never really left. because obviously those business owners weren't being represented when the hospital came and took their land. That guy wasn't being represented when the sheriffs escorted him out. So how about down in the city? We had the subway shooting. Frank, whatever the guy's name was, I can't remember it. But if Torrance is watching, he'll tell me. He'll give me the name. I can't remember his name. To me, it's irrelevant because he's just a symptom of the problem, of all of the problems. So we had the shooting down there. 20 people shot. Nobody died, thankfully, but it's been a big problem. And Eric Adams says, I'm going to fix it. We're doing metal detectors and we're doing checks. We're going to have our own subway TSA. Oddly enough, Larry Sharp put up a meme a couple weeks ago on that topic, a poll. How to prevent subway shootings. Gave 3 options and then also an other option so you could comment what you thought would be the best option. So how do we prevent subway shootings? On Facebook, the options were subway TSA, gun control, concealed carry. Nobody, 0 people. We have 189 reactions to this on that post. 35 comments, 17 shares. Absolutely 0 people said subway TSA. Nobody thought that was the right idea. Even in the other comments, nobody said that was a good idea. Okay. On to Twitter. Concealed carry is a huge winner. And that's because, Larry's got some Second Amendment followers. Subway TSA gets 5%. 5%. 1 in 20 people that answered that poll thinks that the subway TSA is the answer to the subway violence problem. So you have 0 people on one poll, and you have 5% of people on the other poll that say, we want a subway TSA. This will make us safer. And Eric Adams says, that's the answer. That's the one we want to go with. We're going to pick the one that absolutely nobody wants, essentially. And that'll make happier New Yorkers. That'll make them not want to be violent. When you get up in the morning and your commute used to take 3 hours, but now it takes 5 because you have to sit in a line and you have to get up at 2 a.m. to go to your job on the subway. Not on the subway, but take the subway to your job because you got to sit in this and be fondled by the TSA before you go. These people have no clue what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing. Oh my God, this is a bad week. A bad week for public servants, quote unquote. I couldn't believe that because you got to know, and this maybe they don't know. Eric Adams might fly around in a private jet. He might have that super secret TSA pass that makes you go through without getting checked. They don't have to deal with this every day. Maybe they don't understand how much of a pain it would be. And if they do, why are they subjecting other people to it? The point is they do not represent the court of public opinion. 5% on one poll, 0, none on another poll wanted this subway TSA. Eric Adams says that's how we're going to fix the violence. That's the answer. Ridiculous. Embarrassing. It doesn't work. They're not representing you. And people are fleeing New York City. And people are fleeing New York State to go to other places that don't want to just crack down and make nonsense rules. We need to give the power back to the people. That is the answer. That is the solution. That is a free solution. Let's figure out how we can get the representatives to listen to us. And if they won't listen to us, let's get some that will. That is the solution. Give me a call, 585-346-3000. My name is Craig Miles, in for Tim O'Connor on All Free Solutions, WYSL and WACK New York. Thank you so much for tuning in. Back with comments and calls after the break.
Celebrating 35 years.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll see clearing skies. Temps will drop into the upper 30s, low 40s. Looking at your Friday forecast, a much nicer day. Dry, sunny, just a couple of fair weather clouds, and a little bit cool. We intimated in upper 50s. On Saturday, a warm front will come through with some clouds, maybe a shower, near 60. And then, boy, we're in the upper 70s and near 80 on Sunday. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Finally, spring is here. Get out of the house and shop Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Anthony Drive off Route 96 in Victor. Enjoy the freedom of America's favorite four-wheel drive vehicles, like the 22 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4, just $399 a month for 36 months. Must have Stellantis loyalty be returning. Let's see. The 2022 Ram 1500 Warlock Quad Cab 4x4 pickup is just $369 a month for 36 months. Must be returning with Conquest. Let's see. The 22 Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4 is just $299 a month for 36 months. Must be returning. Let's see. And the 21 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited L4x4 SUV is just $439 a month for 42 months. Be returning less either demo with 3,418 miles, $2,500 cash, or trade $4,000 for Grand Cherokee L. First payment, DMV, taxes and fees due at site. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We're here to fully serve Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Victor, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, 6560 Anthony Drive in Victor.
Ew, Dad, why are toenails so ugly and yellow?
Hey, it's James, and if you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails.
This spot says a lot about New York State. No matter what we do, we can't get rid of our corrupt governors.
And for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-354-1957. That's 800-354-1957.
Are you there?
Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all.
Oh,
guaranteed. Call now.
I don't know if you heard that spot saying about how the fungus never goes away. I'm like, yeah, it's just like our governors.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professional.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to play a quick sound clip from Animal House. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
82. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Looking for something meaningful to do? As a Camp Good Days volunteer, you'll work with children and adults who will inspire you. Just listen to what one volunteer says about her experience.
I get a lot more out of camp than these kids. All I have to do is sit back and look around at the end of the week. The perseverance and just the strength that these children have. It's just such an inspiration in my life. I learned so much and it gives me strength. Really puts life into perspective for me.
Learn more about many volunteer opportunities at campgooddays.org.
Next to life itself, time is God's greatest gift. Every minute of your child's precious school years should be spent in devotion to truth, not some agenda. An Archangel School K-12 classic Catholic-based education fosters achievement, not conformity. Affordable, safe, small class sizes, and zero time wasted on CRT or Common Core. Your family values are honored, and parental involvement is warmly welcomed. Archangel School kids learn to soar, not march. 247-1112.
Geneseo Hardware.
All right, we have a caller, Keith from Rochester.
They have a large selection of hardware, plumbing, electrical, home.
Yep, you know, he always speaks what's on his mind.
Geneseo Hardware offers Valspar paint, Cabot stains, a wide selection of rental items, plus screen and window repair. Get personalized service. Open 7 days a week. Geneseo Hardware and Rental, Route 28 next to Wegmans Plaza. Visit geneseo-rental.com.
A free solution.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
And another, and another. That's us here in New York State. Thank you, sir. And we have 10 others. We want all of the things, all of the force, all of the time. Funny enough, that's exactly the opposite of what Larry Sharpe talks about, of what the Libertarian Party talks about, which is all of your rights all of the time. And this gets me to a comment from Ed Guerrero. He says, the problem is these people are lacking civics a lot. The public servants like mayors, presidents, and politicians aren't kings and queens. They don't want to listen to the rest of the people on how they feel. The point is people need to be more open-minded and stop staying in their bias bubble and realize the reality going on. Yes, Ed, you are 100% correct. We spend way too much time in our bias bubbles, which would be okay if we were just alone in our bias bubbles shouting about how right we were. The problem is you have people in their bias bubbles making decisions without being informed about any other opinions. And they end up making the wrong decisions. And then they get pushback. And since they've been in their echo bubble, they're like, these people must be crazy. Everybody I talk to tells me this was the greatest idea ever. How could I ever have been wrong? It must be those people. No, it's not those people. We all have to be better about this. You're right. You're right about this, Ed. We have to be better about understanding where people are coming from and trying to minimize the effect that people in their bias bubbles can have on other people. It goes back to what Larry talks about all the time. You can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be. Just don't impose it on other people. We have a caller as well as the comments. Keith from Rochester. How are you today, Keith?
Okay. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Also applies to the voters themselves. They had a very good candidate in there that they could have voted for, Curtis Sliwa, the founder of the Guardian Angels. He would have gotten the problems fixed. The point is that we've dumbed down education so much that people, as you were stating, don't know how to be solution oriented. So whether they voted for the Democrat, and so far as what they're getting in Eric Adams, but when you try and go and talk to them about someone like Mr. Sliwa, it's like you're talking a foreign language. People, this is the point why I called in, they vote, but they don't think, and I mean it. Curtis Sliwa was making enough comments about what he would have done had he been elected mayor. I do believe, without being foolish about it, in just a short time, we would have been well along the way getting viable solutions if the Curtis Sliwa had been elected. And now we have the party hack, Eric Adams. And in closing, the whole idea is to get voters educated so they know the diff and they just won't vote the party line. But that right there, please, sir, may I have another? That refers directly to the voters. Apparently, things must get much, much worse before people really get it that they, as voters, can make an effective change. But we're just not there yet, certainly not in a HELL, a hole like the Big Apple. People just are dumbed down there that they will vote, in this case, just out of habit for the Democrat. And we don't get any real solutions because Eric Adams is a party hack, and he himself does not know what to do, as you were stating. But it's also the voters who just will not make the change and, again, vote in the very, very good Curtis Sliwa.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Keith. I love everything you're saying because you are correct. You have to get people to not vote party line because because people on the party line count on that. Like, whatever, they're not even paying attention. They just know they hate the other guy. So I don't even have to do the things that I say I'm going to do or do the things that they think I'm going to do, because they're going to vote. They're going to pull the lever. They're going to feel good, say we defeated the other side, and then they're going to go and ignore everything until the next election. So I think you're right. I think they count on that voter apathy. It's not apathy totally, because they think it's important enough to go and pull the lever, but they don't think it's important enough to think about what they're actually voting for. So I think you're 100% correct in the, yes, a lot of people just went and pulled the Democrat lever because they knew that Curtis Sliwa and the Reform Party or the Conservative Party or the Republican Party, whatever he was running on, they knew that was evil. They knew that was probably some Trump operative. I'm not joking. There's people that believe this. Everything is still about Donald Trump. You want Trump to come back? Well, you better vote for the Democrat, because otherwise he's going to come back and he's going to say mean things on Twitter, because that Elon Musk guy, he's going to let him say stuff. So, and we can't have that. So, yeah, I think you're 100% correct. They've got people buffaloed. They've got them focused on the wrong things.
My very final
Not
comment.
on the thing.
My very
Go ahead.
final comment, things are probably going to have to get much, much worse. People are probably really going to have to get burned until they really are fed up to the extent that they will make effective change. Until then, everyone is going to insist in living in a pigsty, and that's my final prediction here. Things are probably going to have to get much worse before people finally get around maybe to doing what's right for themselves and their families.
I hope you're wrong, Keith, but I don't know if you are, because I see the same thing happening. I'm like, listen, am I crazy? because what I see seems bad, and it seems like people should be upset about it, and it seems like people should want to change it, and it seems like people should understand that the establishment is what has gotten us here, and by voting for anyone that is establishment, you're not going to change it. I've had this discussion like 3 times in the past week with people about they wanted to pull the lever for Larry. They wanted to do it. And they even had signs in their yard. And this is not, I'm not making this up. They got in and they said, oh, but what if? What if it's my vote that means that we lose to the Democrat? What if? And they're more scared of making the wrong choice than they are of making a choice that could actually make a difference. And I understand it. I understand it. It's going to take people to stand up and to have courage and to vote for a Curtis Sliwa. I can never say his name. Curtis Sliwa or a Larry Sharp or anyone who is not part of the establishment. It's hard. It's difficult. People are going to blame you. I get blamed for every loss. I got blamed for Trump winning. When I said that I voted for Gary Johnson, they said, well, that's why Trump won. No, Trump won because Hillary is a piece of garbage. I will say that. You can fight me on that. And I will be right. There's very few things that I will not capitulate on. I cannot stand that woman. She's a horrible person. That's why Donald Trump won. It wasn't because I voted for Gary Johnson. It's because the Democrats put up a piece of garbage and people said, we don't want garbage. And they went for Trump.
Well,
so,
on that, you and I agree. I've been saying right along that Hillary Clinton, I use the psychiatric term, she's a psychopath, and it's just unfortunate more people are not of clear sight. Like in the Bible, they've got to take that beam, that big splinter out of their eye, and so many people, sir, will not see what is really there. That's the problem. So many people, all of you out there in the audience, you will not see what is true reality. Maybe this audience, but so many other people, like I mentioned downstate, they're bamboozled there in the Big Apple, and it's very, very bad.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right. You got to open your eyes. And yeah, I agree with you there. You know, people don't want to open their eyes. And I understand. It's hard because if something is challenging the way that you have lived for a long time, it's difficult to go against that because it's not just making a different decision. It's changing who I am. It's personal. This is a part of my identity. I feel like I'm a Democrat. I feel like I'm a Republican. I don't want to feel like I've abandoned that, like I've lost a piece of myself. At the same time, we need change. You're not the person that you were 10 years ago. I'm not the person that I was 10 months ago. Change is a good thing. And without change, we're going to get the same. I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It seems like Yogi Berra would have said that, obviously. But I feel like people need to think about that. It's so obvious that maybe it's not. Keith, thank you so much for calling in.
Bye.
So we'll get to some comments after the break. Keith had a great comment there. If you want to give me a call, you can call me too. 585-346-3000. Like I said, got some comments. The chat's blowing up here. It is A Free Solution on WYSL and WACK in Newark. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you after the break.
All right, when we come back from this break, I'm going to play a quick sound clip from History of the World. It said that the people are revolting. You know that one?
Constitution and free and safe schools. Here are just a few available. Shut Up, Fauci. Kathy Hochul. Save America. Support the Second Amendment. Scam Alert. January.
Yeah, because of YouTube, we can't do any kind of fun mainstream music, but at least we can do sound clips.
And there are gas pump stickers reading, Democrats did this. These are standard weather-resistant bumper stickers guaranteed to get you horn honks and thumbs up in traffic. Choose from other locally made WYSL Voice of Liberty merch too, like tees, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Perfect gifts for any Liberty lover. Check out the exclusive WYSL Mount Worstmore shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs depicting our 4 worst presidents. Guess who's front and center? Shop at WYSL store at WYSL1040.com.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
There's a place in the village of Avon you and your critters will love. Whether they're big or small, whether they've got hair, fur, or feathers, Avon Feed fits every need. There's a full selection of pet foods, bird feeders, and wild bird food, plus garden tools, quality grass seed, and a great selection of dry shod boots. Buy 10 bags of quality wild bird food, get the next bag free. Choose farm feeds and great equine products from Poland Grains. Find everything for your pet from feeding bowls to toys, leads, collars, beds, crates, and tie-outs. Avon Feed and Supply has what the big pet chain stores will never have: Tim Cole and his great knowledgeable staff. Choose from premium local products like Firefly dairy, goat soaps, and lotions. While you're at Avon Feed, don't forget.
Yeah, Dan Bongino often uses the sound clip from Caddyshack. You'll get nothing and you'll like it.
Once again, nut butters and Nunday mustards. Open weekdays 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 4. Avon Feed and Supply. West Main Street at the bottom of the hill, just west of the circle.
A free solution.
I've come on the most urgent business. It is said that the people are revolting.
You said it. They stink on ice.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. I think they missed the point a little bit there. The people are revolting. Yes, they're horrible, disgusting. It's a joke, but it's funny because it's true. Unfortunately, it's not funny. It's kind of sad. Tragedy and comedy. There's a reason why those masks go together. It is A Free Solution on WYSL and WACK. My name is Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of comments in the chat. Ryan Bedford, what did you win by your party not losing? He's put his finger right on this. Okay, you won. You won. Good job. Nice job. Great job. You won. How's your life? Not good. Oh, so what'd you get? You got to say I voted for the winner. That's cool. And my life still sucks. Awesome. Love it. I'm very cynical and salty today for some reason. It just, it's tough sometimes. And I'll leave it at that. Jeanne, I'm sorry. I always get your name wrong. Jeanne. Jean, spell it out for me phonetically. She comments, Trump won because he was seen as an outsider. People thought he would drain the swamp. Unfortunately, he didn't. Well, Trump was only one man, and he did some things that were good, and he did some things that were bad because he is only a man. I do think that he was definitely anti-establishment, even through his time there in general, because you saw what they did. The big evil deep state but it's true. They pushed him out. He was gone. We had a pandemic. We had a mail-in election. We had no voter fraud ever because that's not a thing, except never think about how I said that Russia put him in office. No, there's no such thing as voter fraud, except when there was 4 years ago, except now there's not because you can't say so. Oh my God. Why do we deal with this? Why do we let it happen? Because it's my guy doing it. It's okay. GN also, she also comments, I was told that if I didn't vote for Hillary, then I voted for Trump. I explained quite emphatically that I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Johnson. Yes, that is exactly what I was referring to. Because someone asked me, said, well, who'd you vote for? I said, I voted for Gary Johnson. Said, oh, you voted for Trump. Get out of here. I voted for Gary Johnson. There's more than two choices. You're literally telling me my vote doesn't matter. And yours matters because you voted for the right guy? I thought all votes mattered. Apparently not if they're not for the two important ones. It's all a racket. It's all a racket. And some people wake up. Some people wake up to it. And that's all you got to do. You got to keep talking. You got to keep trying different messages. You got to keep trying different people. Different people speak in different ways, and they might connect differently. And always be listening, always be watching. Saying, what does that mean? Is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Also question yourself. When you're feeling a certain way, why am I feeling that way? Is it because I'm right? Is it because I'm wrong? Is it because this thing is challenging how I thought the world works? Once you can let down your guard and understand, wow, I might have been wrong about this one. That is so empowering. So empowering. And it gets easier every time it happens. I think that's why it's difficult being a libertarian. Because if you're a libertarian, you already had that aha moment. You were probably a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or whatever. And then there was something that clicked. And then there was another something that clicked. And then there was, well, wait a minute. If these somethings are wrong, what else is wrong? And now it's a quest. Now I'm looking for things that aren't right. But it takes that first experience to set things in motion. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to get through to people. It's very difficult to get them that first experience. And it's got to come from them. Someone made a comment earlier about listening. I think it was Keith. I think when Keith called in, he said these people won't listen. Yes, that's it right there. You're not going to make anybody listen to you. Never going to happen. They've got to come to things on their own. And that's what gets frustrating because you're like, it's right there in front of you, man. Just you're almost there. You're so close. She tunes in again. I feel like I'm banging my head against a wall because I actually want change. I'm right there with you. That's what it is. Keep screaming into the void because there's some people that float up out of there and they become great parts of the movement. You know, Larry says it all the time. The most righteous are the converted. It's true. Once you make that first step, then you realize, you learn. You say, wait a minute. These things are not right. And we got to do something different. We got to do something different about it. I kind of got sidetracked these past couple breaks. I want to get back to one last thing about the masking, in particular about the representation. So the mask mandate, it's unconstitutional according to this judge down in Florida. And they started a smear campaign against her immediately. Well, she's a Trump appointee. She must be some white nationalist piece of garbage. I'm not joking. You can go and look it up. There's a bunch of people saying that, which is irrelevant to the argument of whether a law is unconstitutional or not. That doesn't have anything to do with anything, but they'll distract you. So that came out. Kathy says, well, that's cool, but not in New York. The Constitution doesn't apply in New York. You still got to wear the masks. So wear the masks. I don't care what they say. Wear the masks. Don't question me. That was her press conference 2 days ago. It's frustrating. And so now the CDC said, we're still trying to figure out whether these are worth it or not. So rather than, cause a problem, we got to make sure they're worth it. So you got to wear them until we decide that they're not okay. The DOJ said, okay, CDC, we got you. We're putting in an appeal. Now, here's the thing that gets me. This is a story from USA Today. Quote says, the appeal announcement does not change the removal of the mask mandate earlier this week. The Justice Department did not request a stay for the judge's ruling, which would have reinstated the masking requirements. And that's what we're really good here in New York State. Anyone makes a ruling, we stay that ruling and appeal it. That's what Kathy did with the mask mandates for kids. Somebody ruled that this was unconstitutional. I think it was downstate. They said, this is unconstitutional. You can't do this, Kathy. Kathy says, I'm appealing that, and I don't care. I'm staying it, which I'm pretty sure that was never resolved. I don't think it's still resolved, because if they got a ruling in that, then someone would be able to point to it in the future when they try this again. So they just let that stuff fizzle out, because if they make it officially official, there's too much of a paper trail. But the CDC did not do this in this case. They did not ask for a stay, which means I saw literal videos of flight attendants singing about not having to wear masks. I saw videos of captains making announcements saying we no longer have to wear masks, and people cheering.
1 minute.
Elated that we don't have to wear masks. So now you're going to go through all that. You're going to go through the process of the CDC appeal. And in 3 weeks, you're going to tell those same people that they have to wear masks again. This is nonsense. Regardless of whether it works or not, is that representation? That is not representation. You literally had people dancing in the aisles of the planes because they didn't have to wear these masks. And some stuffy guy somewhere is like, no, you got to wear them. That's wrong. That's the wrong answer. That is not the solution. That is not a free solution. Let people make their own choices. Let people mask if they want to mask. Let's get back to personal choices, to personal freedom, to personal responsibility. That is the answer. Anything that we can do to move in that direction is the solution. Thank you for tuning in.
Great show.
To market and grow your business, make new business connections, and
You're welcome, man. We'll talk